Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is enjoying their day. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Wednesday, September 3rd, Holden and Claire's alliance, Jack and Diane's wisdom. Get updates on the latest news about The Young and the Restless, straight to your inbox. We use your personal data for interest-based advertising, as outlined in our privacy notice. What is this? The Young and the Restless spoilers are in for Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025. In tomorrow's episode, fans can expect Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, and Claire Grace Newman, Haley Aaron, to form an alliance against Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver. Meanwhile, Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, and Diane Jenkins Abbott, Susan Walters, advise Kyle Abbott, Michael Mealer. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Make sure to check out our weekly Y&R spoilers, here. Kyle Abbott rejected. Let's start off with Kyle, who didn't think Claire would reject his marriage proposal. The young man really thought that he could smooth things over and put a ring on his girlfriend's finger. However, fans knew that Claire would say no, as they are having too many trust issues right now. Totally the wrong way to propose. Kyle is having a hard time coping with Claire saying no and that awkward goodbye. Kyle Abbott rejected. In the ever-twisting world of The Young and the Restless, few names stir as much emotional energy as Kyle Abbott. He has lived through scandals, betrayals, romantic heartbreaks, and family power struggles that could break most people. Yet Kyle continues to stand tall as an Abbott, trying to find both love and belonging while caught between the shadows of legacy and the pressure of making his own way. But this time, the sting of rejection has cut deeper than anyone anticipated, leaving fans buzzing with speculation about what's next for Jack Abbott's son. Kyle's latest emotional setback has not only left him broken but has also opened a new chapter of drama that could change Genoa City forever. Kyle has always been a character who wears his heart on his sleeve. Raised with privilege but plagued by the insecurities of abandonment, he has often found himself chasing love, approval, and a sense of identity. When he finally thought he had found stability, rejection slammed down like a thunderbolt. The rejection wasn't just about romance, it was layered with family tension, trust issues, and the kind of emotional undercurrents that soap operas thrive on. Kyle believed that his loyalty, his vulnerability, and his willingness to put it all on the line would be enough to secure the bond he wanted, but instead, he was left staring at a door closed in his face, both literally and figuratively. This rejection wasn't out of nowhere. Kyle's life has been spiraling for weeks, riddled with mistakes that came back to haunt him. His involvement in scheming against his own family, the constant tug-of-war between loyalty to his father Jack and his growing independence, and the romantic entanglements with Summer and Audra have built a mountain of trouble that now looms over his head. His choices, once brushed off as youthful missteps, have become defining moments of his character. Genoa City has watched Kyle transform from a reckless playboy to a devoted father and husband, only to fall into old habits of betrayal and ambition. It's a cycle that makes viewers both root for him and shake their heads in frustration. So what exactly triggered this crushing rejection? Some sources within the storyline point to Claire Grace, the mysterious newcomer with ties to the Newman family. Kyle, vulnerable and desperate for connection, seemed to believe he could carve out a place in her heart. But Claire, still struggling with her own demons and past betrayals, wasn't ready to let Kyle into her world. Others believe the rejection stemmed from his attempts to reconcile with Summer, the woman who has been both his greatest love and deepest heartbreak. Summer's walls are up higher than ever after his betrayals, and while Kyle may think his love should be enough, Summer isn't ready to forgive or forget. Either way, the rejection hit him where it hurt most, in the fragile space where hope met reality. Fans online have already exploded with opinions. Social media lit up the moment spoilers teased Kyle's heartbreak, with many viewers divided over whether he deserved it. Some argue that Kyle is finally facing the consequences of years of selfish decisions, while others believe he's a tragic romantic who keeps making the wrong choices for the right reasons. One thing is certain, rejection has always been a catalyst for dramatic turns in Y&R. When a character like Kyle gets his heart shattered, it doesn't end with tears, it sparks rivalries, revenge, and sometimes even redemption arcs that shake the canvas of Genoa City. Jack Abbott's reaction to his son's rejection is also at the center of speculation. As patriarch of the Abbott clan, Jack has always tried to guide Kyle, even when their relationship has been rocky. Jack knows firsthand the pain of rejection, betrayal, and heartbreak. Will he offer Kyle the kind of fatherly support he desperately needs, or will Jack see this as a wake-up call for his son to grow up and face the consequences of his actions? Either way, the Abbott family dynamic is about to get more complicated. Beyond the personal, there's also the business angle. Jabot, the Abbott family company, has long been both a lifeline and a battlefield for Kyle. Rejection in his personal life could push him into making risky business decisions, either to prove his worth or to distract from his emotional pain. If Kyle tries to assert control at Jabot in a desperate bid for validation, he could find himself clashing with both Jack and Billy, igniting another round of corporate warfare. Such storylines have always kept fans glued to the screen, as business drama and personal feuds intertwine in ways that leave no character untouched. On the romantic front, Kyle's rejection could open the door for unexpected alliances. With Audra still circling Genoa City and Claire struggling with her own battles, Kyle could find himself drawn to new faces or rekindling old flames. Rejection doesn't always mean the end, it often marks the beginning of a new, riskier path. If Kyle's pain drives him into the arms of someone equally damaged, fans could be looking at the next explosive pairing. Soap romances thrive on heartbreak, and Kyle's rejection could be the spark that fuels his next great, albeit messy, love story. What makes Kyle's situation so compelling is that it resonates with viewers on a deeper level. Rejection is universal, everyone has felt the sting of being unwanted, misunderstood, or cast aside. Kyle's pain becomes a mirror for those emotions, making his storyline both relatable and dramatic. Watching him struggle to rebuild, to find meaning after heartbreak, pulls audiences in and keeps them invested. It's not just about the love he lost, it's about whether Kyle Abbott can rise from the ashes of rejection stronger than before or if he'll spiral into destructive choices that could ruin everything. Looking ahead, spoilers hint at an emotional roller coaster for Kyle. His rejection will not simply fade into the background, it will shape his next decisions, for better or worse. Will he try to prove himself to the person who rejected him, refusing to let go? Will he lash out in bitterness, letting his pain fuel questionable choices? Or will he finally take a step back, reflect on his mistakes, and choose growth over vengeance? These questions set the stage for weeks of gripping drama. One thing is clear, rejection may break Kyle Abbott in the short term, but it will also define his long-term arc. Whether he emerges as a tragic hero, a bitter rival, or a redeemed soul depends on the choices he makes now. And for fans of The Young and the Restless, that means one thing: must-watch television. Kyle's rejection is more than a plot twist, it's a seismic shift in his storyline. It redefines his relationships, his family dynamics, and his place in Genoa City. Heartbreak has a way of either destroying or rebuilding characters, and the path Kyle takes will ripple across the lives of those around him. For now, all eyes are on him, the Abbott heir who thought love was within his grasp, only to have it slip away. Rejection may have left Kyle wounded, but it has also set the stage for some of the most emotional, dramatic, and high-stakes storytelling we've seen in years. And in true soap fashion, every tear, every confrontation, and every risky choice he makes will keep fans on the edge of their seats. Genoa City is about to witness Kyle Abbott's most defining chapter yet, one born out of heartbreak but destined to leave an unforgettable mark. Jack Abbott's wisdom. Jack and Diane knew that Kyle's plan would backfire. They tried to warn him, but he wouldn't listen. So, he needs to listen to his parents right now if he wants a hope of salvaging his relationship. Claire definitely needs time and space to process everything. However, it is a bad sign that Claire left the engagement ring box there. There was also that goodbye, where Kyle tried to kiss her, but she turned away. Jack Abbott's wisdom. In the turbulent, ever-shifting universe of The Young and the Restless, there are few characters who embody resilience, leadership, and heart as profoundly as Jack Abbott. For decades, Jack has weathered storms of betrayal, heartbreak, corporate sabotage, and family feuds, yet he remains the steady hand guiding not just the Abbott family but also countless allies and adversaries who've crossed his path. Jack's wisdom, forged through years of victories and failures, has become a defining trait that shapes his interactions with everyone around him. Whether offering words of comfort to a grieving loved one, outsmarting rivals in the boardroom, or counseling his children through personal crises, Jack Abbott has proven time and again that his strength lies not only in his power but in the wisdom he has earned through pain, perseverance, and love. Jack Abbott's wisdom doesn't come from perfection. In fact, much of it is born from mistakes. Fans remember his reckless affairs, his clashes with Victor Newman, and his struggles with addiction. Every fall seemed destined to shatter him completely, yet every time, he rose again, scarred but stronger, humbled but sharper. These scars became lessons, and those lessons became wisdom he could share with others. When Kyle spirals into chaos, when Ashley doubts herself, when Billy makes reckless choices, it is Jack who finds the words that cut through the noise and remind them of who they are. Jack isn't just a patriarch, he is a teacher, a counselor, and a steady light when the darkness of Genoa City seems overwhelming. Jack's wisdom is most apparent in his role as a father. His relationship with Kyle has not always been smooth. There were years of absence, bitterness, and resentment, yet Jack never gave up on his son. Through every mistake, Jack has tried to guide Kyle toward a better path. When Kyle's marriage to Summer crumbled, when he got entangled with Audra, or when his ambition nearly wrecked Jabot, Jack reminded him that integrity is the one thing a man must never lose. His advice to Kyle often blends business acumen with emotional intelligence. Success without honor isn't success at all. These words, grounded in hard-won wisdom, remind Kyle that being an Abbott means more than just power, it means living with honesty and courage. Beyond Kyle, Jack's guidance extends to his siblings. With Ashley, his wisdom has often been the calm that balances her passion. Their bond, though tested by disagreements, is rooted in mutual respect. When Ashley has struggled with identity, romance, and betrayal, Jack has been the one to ground her with gentle but firm reminders of her strength. With Billy, his advice has often been more urgent, as Billy's reckless gambling, affairs, and impulsive choices have threatened both the family and Jabot. Jack's wisdom in these moments often blends tough love with compassion. He doesn't shy away from calling Billy out, yet he always couches it in a belief that Billy is capable of better. His wisdom here isn't about preaching, it's about reminding his family of their worth, even when they've lost sight of it themselves. In the corporate world, Jack's wisdom is legendary. As a leader of Jabot, he has faced countless battles with Victor Newman, the Newman family, and even his own siblings. Jack has learned when to fight and when to walk away, when to strike boldly and when to let patience win the day. His business philosophy often reveals his depth. He knows that deals aren't just about money or power, they're about people. Jack can look a rival in the eye and see not just an enemy, but a human being with motivations, weaknesses, and fears. That perspective has allowed him to outmaneuver adversaries not by brute force, but by strategy and empathy. In a world of sharks, Jack Abbott's wisdom often becomes the secret weapon that keeps Jabot afloat. But Jack's wisdom extends beyond family and business, it touches his romances as well. Though his love life has been tumultuous, filled with heartbreaks, betrayals, and second chances, Jack has grown more reflective over time. When he speaks to Diane, Phyllis, or Nikki, his words reveal not just passion but perspective. He has learned that love cannot be forced, that forgiveness is powerful but fragile, and that honesty is the cornerstone of any true connection. His advice to others in love often echoes these lessons. Love is only real when it's rooted in truth. These words don't just apply to his own romances, they resonate with the younger generations of Genoa City, who often look to Jack for guidance in their own messy relationships. What sets Jack's wisdom apart is its authenticity. He doesn't pretend to have all the answers, and he doesn't hide from his failures. Instead, he embraces them as part of his journey. That vulnerability makes his guidance more powerful because those who hear it know it comes from a man who has lived through both triumph and tragedy. Whether he's speaking to Kyle about fatherhood, to Ashley about perseverance, or to Billy about responsibility, Jack's words carry weight because they are grounded in lived experience. Fans of The Young and the Restless often point out how Jack Abbott serves as the moral compass of the show. While characters like Victor thrive on power plays and manipulation, Jack represents a different kind of strength, the strength of wisdom, empathy, and honor. His rivalries may be fierce, but his principles rarely waver. Even when tempted to stoop to Victor's level, Jack often chooses the higher road, not because it's easy, but because it's right. That choice, repeated across decades, has shaped his legacy as not just a businessman, but a man of integrity. As Genoa City faces new drama, Jack's wisdom will undoubtedly be tested again. Will he be able to guide Kyle through heartbreak and betrayal? Will his steady hand keep Ashley from losing herself in her struggles? Can he keep Billy from self-destruction once more? These questions remind fans that Jack's role isn't static, his wisdom must evolve with every new challenge. And while Jack has earned the respect of many, his journey is far from over. Wisdom, after all, isn't a destination, it's a lifelong process. The beauty of Jack Abbott's wisdom is that it doesn't just belong to him, it resonates with the audience. Viewers see themselves in his struggles, in his resilience, and in his reflections. His words become lessons not just for his family, but for everyone watching. You don't have to be perfect to be strong. You just have to keep going. Lines like these become mantras for fans who find themselves facing their own battles outside the world of Genoa City. That connection between fiction and reality is what makes Jack Abbott such an iconic figure in daytime television. Looking forward, Jack's wisdom could shape the future of Genoa City in profound ways. If Kyle falters, Jack's words may be the only thing that can pull him back from the brink. If Ashley's battles threaten her stability, Jack's steady presence may keep her grounded. If Billy falls again, Jack's tough love may be the spark that saves him. And in the boardroom, his wisdom could determine whether Jabot thrives or falls under the weight of rivalries. No matter what lies ahead, Jack Abbott's wisdom will remain the thread that weaves the Abbott family together. Ultimately, Jack's wisdom is a legacy in itself. It's not just about what he says in moments of crisis, it's about the way he lives, the choices he makes, and the example he sets. He is living proof that a man can fall, fail, and hurt, yet still rise as a figure of strength and guidance. For Genoa City, and for fans everywhere, Jack Abbott's wisdom is more than a character trait, it's an inspiration. Jack Abbott's story continues, but one truth remains unshakable: in a world of chaos, betrayal, and endless drama, his wisdom is the anchor that keeps everything from falling apart. And as long as Jack Abbott walks the halls of Jabot and the streets of Genoa City, his words, his lessons, and his guidance will continue to shape the lives of everyone he touches. Claire Grace Newman's drunkenness. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, September 3rd reveal that Claire left Kyle's place and went to the coffee shop. At first, she was going to have a double espresso, but then she bumped into Holden. While Claire didn't want to talk about her problems, she did feel like a change in plans. Instead of espresso, Claire wants to get drunk and invites Holden to tag along. Claire Grace Newman's drunkenness. In the world of The Young and the Restless, every choice, every slip, and every scandal ripples through Genoa City like a tidal wave. This time, all eyes are on Claire Grace Newman, the newest member of the powerful Newman clan whose presence has already brought secrets, suspicion, and unexpected drama. For weeks, Claire has fought to prove she belongs in this world of dynasties, betrayal, and ambition. Yet just as she was gaining the trust of her family and beginning to carve out her place in Newman lore, she stumbled into a shocking situation that left jaws on the floor. Claire's drunkenness has become the talk of Genoa City, an event that exposes her vulnerabilities, rattles her family, and threatens to unravel everything she's worked so hard to build. It began innocently enough, or at least that's how it seemed. Claire, already struggling under the weight of expectation, the shadows of her past, and the need to prove herself, found herself at a gathering where emotions ran high. As wine glasses clinked and tensions rose between the Newmans and their rivals, Claire turned to the bottle not as celebration, but as escape. Fans watched in disbelief as the normally composed young woman let her guard down in a way that was both heartbreaking and dangerous. The camera lingered on her trembling hand as she poured another drink, and the subtle shift from poised to reckless became impossible to ignore. Claire's drunkenness wasn't just about alcohol, it was symbolic. It revealed the cracks beneath her polished exterior. For months, she's carried the burden of being Harrison's caretaker, of trying to bridge the gap between her traumatic upbringing and her new life under the Newman umbrella. Her actions screamed of someone desperate to silence the voices of doubt, the whispers of judgment, and the pain of rejection. And in Genoa City, one moment of weakness is all it takes for enemies to pounce. The fallout was immediate. Nikki Newman, who has battled her own demons with alcohol, was both horrified and heartbroken to see her niece lose control. The parallels between Nikki's past and Claire's present were impossible to ignore. Viewers could feel the weight in Nikki's eyes as she watched history repeat itself, this time in the next generation. Will Nikki's wisdom and experience help Claire rise from this mistake, or will it create distance between them as painful memories resurface? The show has planted seeds for an emotional confrontation that could test Nikki's sobriety, compassion, and ability to guide Claire through the storm. Victoria Newman, Claire's mother, reacted with a mix of anger and sorrow. For Victoria, Claire's drunkenness wasn't just an embarrassment, it was a reminder of all the doubts she's had about bringing her estranged daughter into the Newman fold. Victoria has fought to trust Claire, to see her not as a threat but as family. Yet this slip could confirm her worst fears, that Claire isn't ready for the weight of being a Newman. Fans know that Victoria's harsh words, though often rooted in love, can cut deep. If she confronts Claire too harshly, she risks pushing her daughter away when she needs her most. Victor Newman's response looms largest of all. The patriarch of the Newman dynasty has always valued strength, control, and resilience. To Victor, drunkenness is more than weakness, it's vulnerability that enemies can exploit. His glare, his silence, and his eventual verdict could determine whether Claire has a future in the family business or whether she will forever be cast as the weak link. Victor's legendary disdain for failure may be the biggest obstacle Claire faces, as she must prove that one night of drunkenness does not define her worth. Outside the Newman walls, whispers spread like wildfire. Phyllis Summers, never one to miss an opportunity to stir the pot, has already been seen smirking about Claire's stumble. Audra Charles, with her sharp tongue and sharper ambitions, may use Claire's drunkenness to discredit her at Newman Enterprises. And Kyle Abbott, whose connection to Claire has sparked both curiosity and speculation, finds himself caught between concern and judgment. Will Kyle defend her as a friend, or distance himself to protect his own image? The drama of Claire's drunkenness also raises the question of romance. Could this vulnerable side of her open the door to unexpected connections? Some fans speculate that Nate Hastings, who has been circling the Newman orbit, might step in as a source of comfort. Others believe Claire's raw vulnerability could draw her closer to Kyle, setting the stage for an emotional entanglement that shakes both the Abbott and Newman families. Romance born from scandal has always been a staple of Y&R, and Claire's drunken night may spark a love story no one saw coming. But beyond relationships and family politics, the most important layer is Claire herself. Her drunkenness reveals not just weakness but humanity. She is a young woman carrying scars from a troubled past, trying desperately to belong in a world that judges her at every turn. The bottle may have silenced her pain for one night, but it also exposed just how much she's still struggling. Fans are left asking, will this be the beginning of Claire's downfall, or the turning point that forces her to confront her demons and rise stronger? Longtime viewers see echoes of past Newman scandals in Claire's drunkenness. From Nikki's battles with addiction to Nick's rebellious streaks to Adam's spirals of self-destruction, the Newmans have always walked the line between power and implosion. Claire is simply the newest chapter in that legacy. Her drunkenness ties her to the family in a way no corporate deal or last name could, through the shared flaws, struggles, and second chances that make the Newmans who they are. The fallout promises to stretch for weeks. Tense confrontations are brewing between Victoria and Nikki, who will clash over how to handle Claire's mistake. Victor may call a family meeting to decide Claire's future, and Adam could use the opportunity to stir up trouble. Meanwhile, gossip will ripple through the Abbotts and the corporate elite, leaving Claire isolated at a time when she needs support the most. This isn't just a one-night scandal, it's the spark of a storyline that could redefine the Newman family dynamic. For viewers, Claire's drunkenness is a reminder of why The Young and the Restless has endured for decades. It's not just the glamour, the business rivalries, or the love triangles, it's the raw, human stories of people trying, failing, and sometimes finding redemption. Claire's fall from grace is heartbreaking because it feels real. Who hasn't wanted to escape their pain, even for a night? Who hasn't made a mistake they wished they could take back? Claire's journey is one of the most relatable and dramatic arcs on the canvas right now, and fans are bracing for every twist to come. As the story unfolds, one thing is certain: Claire Grace Newman's drunkenness will not be forgotten. It will shape her relationships, her reputation, and her place in the Newman dynasty. Whether she rises or falls depends not just on her own choices, but on the family around her. Will they extend compassion, or will they turn their backs? Will she spiral deeper into self-destruction, or will this be the wake-up call that changes her forever? In Genoa City, every mistake has consequences, and every consequence fuels drama. Claire's drunkenness may be her lowest moment yet, but it could also be the first step toward her most powerful transformation. And for fans, that means one thing: must-see television as Claire fights to reclaim her place, her dignity, and her future under the brightest, and harshest, spotlight of all. Holden Novak's alliance. Claire has never gotten drunk before and wants to try it. However, viewers already know that something is going to happen. Either an intimate mistake or they will get into some kind of trouble. Claire will likely also spill to Holden about Kyle's marriage proposal and her feelings of distrust. It's pretty bad when Audra was more truthful with Claire than her own boyfriend. What is this? Then, there is Holden and Claire's alliance. They agree to work together to go after Audra. However, I wonder if they will both end up regretting this move. Of course, it's also possible that Claire and Audra could just be starting a lifetime rivalry, such as with Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, and Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most on Wednesday, September 3, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. Holden Novak's alliance. In Genoa City, alliances are forged not just in boardrooms but in whispered conversations, stolen glances, and desperate bids for survival. The arrival of Holden Novak has already set the stage for one of the most intriguing shifts in power dynamics in recent memory. With charm, intelligence, and a knack for reading people, Holden is no ordinary newcomer. His moves are calculated, his timing impeccable, and his goals shrouded in mystery. But now, with whispers growing louder about the alliances he's forming, Genoa City is bracing itself for a storm. Holden Novak's alliance may be the turning point that upends families, shakes corporations, and leaves the city forever changed. Holden didn't just stroll into Genoa City without purpose. From the moment he appeared, fans sensed that his story would intersect with both the Newmans and the Abbotts. His quiet confidence, paired with an ability to disarm even the most guarded characters, made him a figure of fascination. Unlike others who arrive hungry for instant chaos, Holden is playing the long game. His alliance isn't impulsive, it's deliberate, rooted in careful observation of the city's biggest players. He knows exactly who to align with, who to manipulate, and who to destroy. The first hints of Holden's alliance came during tense encounters with Claire Grace Newman. Their connection was laced with intrigue from the start. Claire, herself struggling to fit into the Newman empire after a lifetime of shadows, found in Holden someone who listened without judgment. Their conversations, sometimes late at night and often under the radar, revealed a chemistry that wasn't just romantic but strategic. Holden made it clear that he understood her pain, her doubts, and her desire to carve out an identity beyond the Newman name. Whether this alliance is fueled by genuine care or calculated manipulation is a question that lingers in every scene they share. Yet Claire isn't the only one Holden has drawn into his orbit. Kyle Abbott, reeling from rejection and desperate to prove himself, has found an unexpected confidant in Holden. The two men share a connection rooted in ambition and discontent, though Holden plays his cards far closer to his chest. Kyle believes Holden is someone who can help him reclaim control at Jabot, a partner who will stand with him against the weight of Jack's authority and Victor's looming presence. But viewers know that Holden's loyalty is never given freely, it's bartered, and Kyle may find himself entangled in an alliance that costs more than he can afford. The power of Holden Novak's alliance lies not in its size, but in its strategy. He doesn't seek to dominate by brute force. Instead, he builds bonds that serve dual purposes, offering comfort to the vulnerable while giving him leverage over the powerful. With Claire, he positions himself as a protector. With Kyle, he positions himself as an equal. With others, he may soon reveal different faces, all designed to weave a web so intricate that when he finally pulls the strings, everyone around him will dance to his rhythm. Of course, the Newmans are not blind to his influence. Victor, always attuned to potential threats, has already cast his suspicious gaze on Holden. To Victor, alliances are never innocent, and Holden's closeness to Claire could be interpreted as exploitation. Victoria, meanwhile, feels torn. She wants to see her daughter find stability, but Holden's mysterious background makes it hard for her to trust him fully. These tensions set up future confrontations where Holden may have to prove not just his intentions, but his worth. And in Genoa City, proving yourself often means outsmarting the sharpest minds in the room. For the Abbotts, Holden's alliance with Kyle is even more precarious. Jack Abbott, ever the protective father and CEO, doesn't take kindly to outsiders meddling in family or business. If Holden pushes Kyle toward risky choices at Jabot, Jack will undoubtedly step in. But the question remains, will Kyle listen to his father's wisdom, or will he lean into Holden's promises of independence and power? For fans, this tension is delicious, because it puts Kyle squarely at the crossroads of loyalty and ambition, with Holden pulling at the strings. The fallout of Holden Novak's alliance could extend far beyond family drama. In the corporate world, alliances are the lifeblood of survival. If Holden positions himself correctly, he could become a pivotal figure in the never-ending Newman versus Abbott war. Imagine him orchestrating a deal that pits Kyle against Jack, or manipulating Claire into standing against Victoria. Such moves wouldn't just create chaos, they'd redefine the balance of power in Genoa City. Holden's alliance could evolve into an empire of influence, giving him control without ever needing a formal seat at the table. But what makes Holden so dangerous, and so fascinating, is that no one can pin down his true motivation. Is he driven by revenge, perhaps connected to a past grudge against the Newmans or Abbotts? Is he an opportunist, seizing the chance to carve out power in a city defined by dynasties? Or is he a man genuinely searching for belonging, using alliances as a way to build a family of his own? Fans are divided, but one truth remains: Holden Novak is a force who refuses to be ignored. The personal stakes are just as high as the corporate ones. If Claire gives her trust to Holden, she risks more than heartbreak, she risks her place in the Newman family, who will question her judgment. If Kyle leans too heavily on Holden, he risks alienating Jack and losing his foothold at Jabot. And if either of them discovers that Holden's alliance comes with hidden agendas, the fallout could shatter not only their trust in him but their trust in themselves. Holden's greatest weapon is doubt, and he wields it with precision. Fans online are already buzzing with theories. Some speculate Holden could be tied to a long-lost family from Genoa City's past, making his alliances part of a larger revenge arc. Others believe he's setting up a romance with Claire that could rival the great couples of Y&R. Still others think his bond with Kyle may evolve into a partnership that could challenge Victor and Jack in ways no one expects. The beauty of Holden's alliance is that it's open-ended, a story thread with countless possibilities for betrayal, redemption, or both. As the weeks unfold, Holden-Novak's alliance promises to be the storyline that pulls every major family into its orbit. Will he unite Claire and Kyle against their parents, creating a new generation of power players? Will he betray them both, revealing his own agenda and leaving them broken in his wake? Or will Holden surprise everyone by proving that his alliance is built on loyalty, not manipulation? These questions keep viewers on the edge of their seats, waiting for the moment when Holden's true hand is revealed. In soap operas, alliances are rarely what they seem, and Holden-Novak's is no exception. It is both a shield and a sword, a bond and a trap. For Claire, Kyle, and everyone who dares to step close, Holden offers comfort with one hand while holding a dagger in the other. Whether he becomes their greatest ally or their most dangerous enemy will depend not on chance, but on the choices each of them makes. Holden-Novak's alliance is more than a storyline, it's a turning point. It embodies everything that makes the young and the restless compelling: family loyalties tested, corporate battles brewing, romantic entanglements deepening, and the ever-present question of trust. With each passing episode, Holden tightens his grip on Genoa City, not through force, but through the quiet, relentless power of connection. And when the final act of this alliance is revealed, nothing, and no one, will ever be the same again.